Hello. Thank you again for joining us for the Effective Charter Board Governance series. Throughout this video series, you'll learn more about how to successfully plan for and conduct board meetings for your charter public school. My name is Michael Cousins, and in this second video, we're once again joined by our three charter experts, Matt Cawood, Lindsay Omlor, Merrideth Okonkwor, as they talk more about key tips for running the meeting. Matt, I'm going to come to you first. In the previous video, Merrideth talked about the importance of assembling the agenda, but now that we're in the meeting, it's just as vital to really stick to that agenda.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, and I would argue it's almost even more important to stick to the agenda during the meeting. In the beginning of the meeting, you have an item on your agenda that's approval of the agenda. So at that time, the board president will look to the board members to see if they have any adjustments to the agenda. So there's an opportunity there to add or delete or change the agenda. The board should do that at that time. Once the agenda is set, you need to stick to it. Some boards choose to have time limits on each agenda item. That helps in keeping discussions focused on agendas and the board from straying off topic. If discussions do stray off topic, then it is up to the board president to redirect the discussions back to the appropriate agenda item. Sometimes new items come up, and if they do, a well-disciplined board will save that new item for the next meeting unless it's critically important that it be addressed at that time. Board members may need to be reminded, conditioned, and disciplined until sticking to the agenda becomes a natural thing for them in a board meeting.
Gotcha, thanks. Now, Lindsay, moving over to you. Part of that agenda usually has a principal or administrator's report, and it's really a very important and key part of that agenda. Tell us a little bit more about why that's so important, why there should be an extra focus there, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. We love our principals, and our principals are super passionate about what they do, and that's so important. But a lot of times what we see during a meeting is that passion runs so deep that this portion of a board meeting tends to take much longer than it really needs to, right? So a couple key things to remember for principals when they are making their report during a board meeting. They should provide a general update or informational update for this about what's been happening in the school for the board. Their report generally should be tied to organizational goals, the organizational goals that have been set for the school by the board, and it should include quantitative data whenever possible. Typically, we like to tell folks, if you have a lot of information that you want to share, that's great. Do include that in the meeting packet, but then also include a summary or an overview page so that board members are able to read a one-pager and know exactly what it is that you're trying to communicate. And then I think the last thing that's really important for principals to remember is that this high-level overview really should last roughly 2 to 3 minutes. And so condensing everything that you want to share into 2 to 3 minutes can be tricky, but brevity really is key.
Excellent, thanks. Merrideth, we may have the agenda, we're staying, brief and focused at high levels, but nothing in a board meeting happens without motions that lead to action. What are some tips for board members when it comes to making a motion?
Well, certainly to introduce any new business or propose a decision or action, a motion must be made by one of the board members. Typically, it's not the president, but I have seen presidents run the meeting by entertaining a motion. They will ask to entertain a motion for a certain item on the agenda. And so once that motion is made, a second must then occur. So, for example, a motion can be made to accept the budget for the current school year. Then a second motion or a second to that motion must be made by an additional board member. I motion that we accept the budget for this school year. I second that motion. Then I will entertain, or the board president will entertain discussion on that motion that's on the floor at the time. That limited discussion will occur, and then the presiding officer will call for a vote. Majority rules, and the motion passes.
Wonderful. Wow, very exciting. I think our audience should be well equipped to now go run a very effective meeting. So thank you to our 3 experts once again for being here, and thank you for continuing to watch this series. Coming up next, we'll continue the series by sharing some more best practices around handling public comment. We'll see you there.